Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello, hotties, and welcome back to another fun little sexy episode of Smoke Sesh. My name is Hannah, your host, and I'm so excited to be with you all here again today on this beautiful little Tuesday morning. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you had a sane and safe week. I know I did. My boyfriend was actually out of town this week. I know. He left, I think, on last Tuesday. He's getting home today. I have to go pick him up from the airport in like 3 hours. But I have basically been home alone with Danger, my number one man, all week. And it has been honestly like kind of fun. It's been nice to just like be alone and quiet because usually I'm the one going out of town and like leaving him here alone, so he gets the alone time. He never really goes out of town, or like if we do go out of town, it's usually always together. So this time around, him and his friends got together. They wanted to go on a little like skateboard trip. Okay, cute. Hey babe, have fun, do your thing. They went to LA for the week. And yeah, I was left alone here. Just kidding. I thrive being alone. I truly love being alone. Not that I like hate my boyfriend or anything. It's just like, even with anybody, if I spend too much time with them, I'm like, I need to retreat inwards to my inner world and take some time to be completely silent and celibate and all of the bits alone. You know what I mean? So it's been really nice just to kind of like focus on all the things that I want to do, pick up some new hobbies, do some shopping, do some cleaning, watch all the random movies that I want to watch. It was so relaxing and so nice. I'm feeling so rejuvenated, especially after the hell of a period that I had a couple weeks ago, the chaos of that Mercury retrograde and the insanity of that last full moon. Mama needed some inside time. She did. Some quiet time for sure. You guys, is this hat serving Republican? I'm so scared because I feel like a part of my style, I mean, my style ranges in so many different directions depending on how I'm feeling, but a part of my style is I do like to touch on the more country side of things, but you know how difficult it gets with the country side of things because you can really quickly start serving Republican, and that is the last thing I want to do because Republicans are not sexy. They do not have sex appeal. They are not sexy, unfortunately, nor am I Republican, so why the fuck would I want to serve that anyways? But I got this hat in Colorado on vacation. It says American Dream, and it's camo, and I thought it was kind of like a ah tee hee moment of just like, no, but I am the American Dream. Hello. I'm just a girly living her best life, being hot and sexy and doing the most that I can, honestly. So apologize for the camo jump scare, but it is what it is. I am in my country era though, you guys. I am having my Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus coming home to Alabama country moment. Do you know what I mean? Am I a little too delusional for the beginning of this episode? Are you picking up the breadcrumbs I'm putting down? I start horseback riding lessons tomorrow, and I could not be more excited. I went boot shopping the other day. Girls, what the helly? Why is a pair of cowboy boots actually $400? I mean, to be fair, I walked into that place and I was like, they're like, what's your budget? I was like, no. A girl like me, there's no budget. I mean, technically there is, but in reality, there's not. Truly, I'm just looking for like the cutest pair. Obviously. And there's this adorable Western store that's been around in KC for forever. The owner of my restaurant was like, oh yeah, you have to go there. If you're looking for anything, you got to go there because they're amazing. They've been here forever. They know the ins and outs of everything. They're going to have the best stock. Go there. So I went there and oh my God, they were so sweet. Small little mom and pop shop. The lady helping me was a baddie. I was like, girl, I don't know what I'm looking for. Here's what I'm doing. Please point me in the right direction where like I'm going to get the most use out of these $300 boots, you know what I mean? She was like, I have this exact pair. I love them. I have them in black. They're fantastic. They'll last you forever. Highly recommend. Like, if you're going to spend money, spend it on these. And to be fair, they're just a pair of brown cowboy boots. But when it comes to clothes, I do hikey kind of care where they come from. And I didn't want just like a name pair brand of boots. I wanted something that felt a little bit more me. And there's this brand called Higher, and they are a KC based cowboy boot brand. Literally, I didn't realize growing up, they always had a shop and a showroom like right next to my house growing up. I was just never in the countryside of things, so I wasn't aware of that even being a thing. So that was really cool to be able to kind of like rep Kansas City, get some boots, get ready, be prepared. My instructor is so sweet. We've been texting all weekend, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna have such a blast picking up this new, fun, probably very expensive hobby, but it's something I've always wanted to do. Like, literally, like I said on the last episode, it's something that I've always been drawn to. I've always been a horse girl in my heart, but I have never let her run free and wild in the plains. You know what I mean? Just because my parents were like, hell no, we're not putting you on the back of a horse. And then also like life got crazy, forgot about that dream for a while. But what's so beautiful about being in your mid to late 20s is you kind of start to get a little bored. You know what I mean? You figure out the chaos of it all. You figure out the job, at least where you're making money. Maybe it's not the perfect job, but you at least have the bills covered. You have a little extra cash left over. You're in a routine. You've made some good friends. You know, you're feeling very comfortable. When you get to that comfortability level, the boredom starts to creep in, and that's very normal. That's very natural because your brain knows what to expect next. It knows what's coming. You know we got that 9 to 5. We know we have that dinner at the end of the week. What else is going on? That's when you need to create excitement for yourself, and that's when the opportunity arises for you to make your childhood dreams come true. A lot of being in your mid-20s is just doing all the things you wanted to do as a teen and a child, but never had the opportunity to do because you just, things were in the way. Now, guess what? You have a little bit of an exposable income, not much, but enough to fund those hobbies and those experiences. And you have the drive and the willpower to do so. So I highly recommend, if you're like, I'm bored, I don't know what to do, I can't get off my phone, I blah, 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 blah. Girl, go pick up those hobbies you wanted to do at 8 or at 10 or at 12 or at 16. That's when you start doing those things. That's when you start making those dreams come true. And that's when life gets just a little bit more fun. So I'm very excited for that tomorrow. But yeah, honestly, so as my boyfriend's been gone, I got into my edible era. You guys, I'm in my edible era. I'm in my edible era where it's like, I've stopped smoking as much during the day because I do think it has like a numbing effect of just like, it really just puts me out for the rest of the day. I mean, if I have to go clock in, do a shift, or if I have to go like essentially do nothing or just like clean all day, sure, I will smoke a little bit. But on days where I have like shit to do, like work to do, I need to sit down and like lock in, bitch, I really try to avoid smoking during the middle of the day so I can keep that energy high, keep my brain power high, and keep it pushing. But once like 8 o'clock rolls around, once the sun goes down, I've been cracking open an edible, maybe an edible and a half, and wow, having a great old time. I'll tell you what, when you haven't done edibles in a while and you do them for the first time, the edible scaries are crazy. I'm like, oh my God, did I actually just get sedated instead? I thought I was just eating an edible. Why can't I move my limbs? Why is there a demon man in the corner? But if you can persevere through that scariness, I love an evening edible. That's my dad's vibe. He's always been like an edible in the evening kind of guy. And now I understand why, because truly it'll give you like the best, deepest bone chilling high ever. And then you can just kind of like zone out, scroll on your phone, watch a good movie. I watched 3 movies last night. I can't tell you the last time in my own home, like outside of a movie theater, I have actually sat down and watched a movie without pausing interrupted, let alone 3. That's how you know the edible was kicking. I was on my rom-com ship last night. When my boyfriend's gone, I love to watch a rom-com in the evening. I love a rom-com. I'm a rom-com girl all the way. And I watched 3 new rom-coms last night. I watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Oh my God, Matthew McConaughey. I would do anything for him. Truly. I watched Sweet Home Alabama, which is also a fire one. And then, you guys, I watched the much anticipated movie experience of the year, The Materialist. You guys, first of all, I'll watch anything with Pedro Pascal in it. You put Pedro Pascal in a movie, I am sat. Actually, I'm on my knees, okay? Like, I'm ready. Please give me a tub of popcorn. I'm locked in. I'm not even blinking, honestly. I think I gave it 2.5 stars on my Letterboxd. I'm trying to get my Letterboxd game up, guys. I think my Letterboxd name is Smoke Sesh if you want to check it out. But yeah, I did give it 2.5 stars. Before I saw it, I heard so many things like, oh, broke man propaganda. And I was like, okay, as a journalist, I need to sit down and watch this movie high as hell and give it a real, authentic reading. And I'll tell you what, it kind of is broke man propaganda. It's definitely, I'll tell you one thing, it is definitely not romance propaganda. This movie did not serve romance. It did not serve romantic. It did not serve lovey-dovey. It served, oh my God, do we have hope? Is there hope? Is there any hope at all for a woman to maybe check all the boxes? Because it was serving, you might as well settle for what feels comfortable. And that's really scary. That's probably this is probably actually #1 horror movie of the year, if I do say so myself. Bitch, I don't give a fuck if Pedro Pascal has 6-inch metal rods in his legs to make him taller. Thank God. And I'm happy to have you here at 6'2" now. You know what I mean? Like, I love that she was like, no, I can't be with you because you were short once. Hello, girl. Anyways, if you need an edible movie to watch, The Materialist was good. It was a little dark and spooky. I mean, thus is real life. I get it. The people making movies want to make movies that commentary on real life experiences and the darkness of dating. We're already going through that. We need a little bit of a distraction. We want the romantic comedy, a little kooky, a little wild, like making me giggle and kick my feet in the air. That's what we're looking for. The real world is scary enough. Don't make me relive the real world again in a movie where I'm trying to escape off this edible. You know what I mean? But that was a vibe. I had to watch it. I had no choice, honestly. But that was a whirlwind of an evening last night, I'll tell you what. But yeah, other than that, haven't been up to much. Just living my best life, doing my thing, and sharing it with you guys, which how lucky am I to be able to do so. Also, thank you for all the love on the last episode. I really appreciate it. You guys are so sweet. I love sharing my travels with you guys. Sorry there's no vlog. I was just truly locked in on being a wild woman in the forest, and I appreciate you guys for understanding me. But I hope to do more, like, honestly, just like alone trips in the future where I literally just bring you guys with me. Like, I cannot wait. I have so many fun things planned, so many fun things coming now that I'm home and able to kind of lock in a little bit more. But I do appreciate all the love you've been sending me, and just like, I got so much good feedback on the last episode of people being like, this is the dose of hope that I needed. Success. That's truly all I want to bring to this podcast. So love you all endlessly, but enough of my yapping. Girls, shut up. The girls have questions that need to be answered. Let's get into them. Someone asked, okay, and valid of them. I've seen a lot of friendships and relationships ending lately. What's happening? LOL. This is this post-Mercury retrograde kind of revival, and honestly, listen, retrogrades reveal everything you need to know through the chaos, through the confusion. I do believe that it is a amazing time to really take accountability and take a real and raw look around at the lives around us and question, is this what the fuck I want to do? Is this what I want to do? Am I in the right place? Is this the right person? Is this the right friendship? Is this the right job? You know, it really makes us kind of go to the deepest, darkest depths. So then we're able to actually look up and take a real accountable look at our lives in front of us. and make the changes necessary. So if you're somebody who's going through a breakup, going through a hard time, especially like maybe interpersonally, or like, you realize somebody's not right for you after a retrograde, that's okay. You're not making the wrong decision. You are making the right decision. You saw the red flags. You saw the things you didn't want to see, the things that you don't want to accept in your life, and you're deciding to move forward accordingly. If you got broken up, that's okay too. Like, it sucks to get broken up with. It sucks to be like, oh, holy shit. Okay, this person doesn't want to be with me, but at least they're not with you instead of being with you and hating you, or like not wanting to be with you. You deserve somebody who wants you fully. And just because someone quote unquote doesn't want you doesn't mean you're like less valuable or less of an individual. It just means, the meshing wasn't there, the chemistry wasn't there, and that is a-okay. You know what? The one thing materialists got right is the recipe to a good relationship. You guys want the recipe to a good relationship? Number one, attraction. You gotta have attraction. You can't be with somebody that you're not attracted to. I mean, I guess you can, but is that a life you want to live? Like, you want to be bouncing on it and looking down and like practically about to throw up? No, that's not the life I want for any of you guys. I want you guys to find your partner hot, sexy, attractive, amazing, wonderful. I want you to see their face and be like, I need them inside of me or on top of me or somewhere near me ASAP. You need attraction, okay? Second thing, chemistry. Attraction is not chemistry. Don't get it confused. Chemistry is necessary. Can you riff with each other? Can you have a good time with each other? Is it easy to be around each other because you guys mesh well, because you have good chemistry? Or is it like you're awkwardly sitting next to somebody that you don't know? That's not chemistry. Please, you need to be able to like get along with each other. And I think that comes from just like similarities. You don't have to have like all similarities, but it does come from just like similar interests, similar backgrounds, similar ways of living. Last but not least, what keeps the relationship alive? Desire. I mean, you have to have desire to be with one another. You can't get bored. You can't get complicit or complacent. You can't get lazy. You have to want the desire of winning them over constantly. You have to have that desire of being like, well, what's next? What can we do for each other next? How can I lift this person up next? What can I do now? You have to have that desire to be with them. If you have all three of those things, I think it'll survive. But it is kind of hard to find all three of those things. I know you'll hear a lot of women nowadays be like, they need money. No. I mean, if that's something in your box, absolutely. But I don't think that secures a positive, healthy relationship immediately. I think you need attraction, chemistry, and desire. And if you're not seeing that, especially post-retrograde, it's probably because you're not with the right person. And that's okay. It's okay to be with the wrong person. It's okay to, it's not even a mistake. You live, you learn, you try new things. You tried on a new pair of pants, a new relationship. They don't fit. That's okay. Are you going to keep squeezing into those tight-ass goddamn jeans? Or are you going to find a pair that fits you? It's simply that simple, okay? But yes, with retrograde and then also end of summer, I always see a lot of breakups. Honestly, anytime like we enter a new season, I see a lot of breakups. So like summer going into fall going into winter, you'll see a lot of them around the holidays where it's like, okay, but you're not taking seriously what I'm taking seriously when it comes to like family and life matters. Then you'll see a lot of breakups coming towards spring where it's like, okay, we survived winter together, but at what cost? Like, I want to bloom. I want to be a new person. Let's break up. And then I see a lot of breakups going into summer where it's like, oh, wow, it didn't get better during the spring. I need to have a good summer. Let's break up. I personally have been through 2 breakups and they happened one literally day before Christmas. Thank you for that text. Wow, what an asshole. So end of winter kind of. Well, I guess beginning of winter, end of fall. And then also my other breakup happened right at the beginning of spring where it was like survived winter, but bitch, at what cost? What cost? And can I keep dealing with this? No, absolutely not. So it does just come with the change of seasons where we are looking back on this past season. We are looking back at our experiences and we're asking ourselves, but did we have fun? And if the answer is no, change what the fuck is not making you have fun immediately. Please, I'm begging you. Also, it's back to school season. I know, scary. You guys, talk about achieving dreams. I have been seriously thinking about going back to college. Not because I'm like, oh, I needed a degree to get a job. That's not what I'm focused on. I kind of just want to do it to do it. Like if I think about it, I've already done 2 years, so I'm halfway through. If I went back to college, it would be like a junior and senior year. But the money is always the hard question. But I'm also like, goddamn, life's too short. I might as well go get the degree. I might as well, I don't know. I've been in the mood to learn and to grow and to strengthen my brain because with the influx of AI usage, it's stressing me out. It really is stressing me out. And I'm thinking about being like dementiaed on my deathbed. And it's because I just use ChatGPT instead of actually thinking for myself. Not that I'm doing that, but it's like that's literally what's going to happen. Our bodies are going to start rotting inside of us because we are not moving. We are not like practicing using our muscles or our brain or our organs or anything, and it stresses me out so much. Like Wall-E, that movie, when I was a kid, I watched it and I was like, oh, cute robot, but also like, wow, the horrors of the future of being a human, because that felt a little too real at 8 years old for Hannah. I was like, I cannot be in that goddamn spaceship floating around not taking accountability of my life while Earth rots below us. That scares me. And I do think knowledge is power. I think knowledge is power. Unfortunately, it is a luxury right now. But if I can make space and room to afford that luxury, or if you have made space and room to afford that luxury, please do not take it for granted. I understand, like, I dropped out and it wasn't because, like, oh, college isn't for me. No, I actually really enjoyed college. I mean, even when I was sobbing in the library after being in there for 24 goddamn hours straight, I still enjoyed college. I really did. Like with being able to learn new things, get new perspectives, new ideas, like challenge myself in a really healthy and honest way. I enjoyed college so much. It was just during COVID. I was in art school during COVID and they made us do online art classes. And I was like, bitch, I am paying a private tuition. I'm talking $100,000 a year. I actually got a really good scholarship, but like the average person's paying $100,000 a year, and you expect me to get on Zoom to paint? Hell no. It's just not worth my money. It wasn't worth my money. I was an in-home nanny at the time. It was not worth my balancing and also wasting money on this schooling, so I dropped out. That's why I did it, because it didn't make sense for that point in time in my life. Valid of me, but also I've been thinking so much about going back to college. And if you're in college, please don't take it for granted. If you're new to college, if you're new to school, if you're thinking about college, go do it. Go challenge yourself. Go get out there. Girl, we can make that loan repayment back. Don't worry. Let's put it to the lowest amount possible every month. Like, let's just get away little chunks at a time. It's like a car payment. But I do think investment in yourself will always pay off tenfold. I will say, if you want to play the game of college and win at it and come out with a fantastic job, you have to treat it like networking. You got to network your ass off, babe. That's why those people are leaving with insane goddamn jobs. It's because they went to their professor's office hours every day, made friends with them, hung out with them, connected with them, got to know them, and then the professor was like, no, I can vouch for you. You're an amazing person. Let me send your information over to this old colleague of mine who is now running this amazing company. Oh, my old college friend sent you? Yeah, fantastic. Boom, you have the job. That's how it works. That's how the game of college works. You need to be networking if you're worried about like the outcome of your job. I know, scary, I have to talk to people. But honestly, I do think most of the time you should be focused on just like betterment of self, challenging yourself, learning new things, new perspectives. It's so nice. It's so beautiful. It's so wonderful. Education is a privilege. Education is amazing. It shouldn't be a privilege. Okay. Like, I think everybody should have the opportunity to be educated at a fair and reasonable price. Honestly, in reality, free, if we're really talking. But yeah, I've been thinking about it so much. And I think if I went back, I would do art history. I think I would go back for an art history degree. The college I went to previously, KCAI, did not have an art history degree. But I would probably do like painting and then minor in art history or something like that. I don't know. It's something I've really been thinking about. It's August, so like I would have to wait a whole nother year. But we'll see if the itch is still with me next year and if I still have this much free time, because I think it would be really fun and really amazing. And if you're in college, please live it up. Enjoy your life. Have a good time. Don't let the horrors get to you. And remember to make some space for some fun. Put yourself out there. Everybody's new. So just because you're feeling new doesn't mean you're out of place. Everybody's feeling the exact same way you are. So utilize that to make some friends. Someone asked, what did you drink in college? So in high school, I drank UV Blue. That was our go-to. UV Blue mixed with blue Gatorade. Oh, girl. One time, my friend got, I don't think I've told this story before on the podcast. We used to drink a lot in high school, okay? We were partying, okay? We were suburban girlies. We were going to party, period. And one night, I remember we went out to this crazy party. We were drinking. And the thing was, we didn't like not eat and then drink. It was like we were eating and drinking. So it was just always a mess if things got crazy. So we went out to a party, drinking a whole handle of UV Blue between the four of us. I remember we were so drunk, but then we were like, we need a pizza. And they were like, we're only doing deliveries. So we went and we parked in the pizza parking lot. And we were like, well, can you deliver it to our car? Like, that's how there was no thoughts, no feelings, truly just like craziness. And like I said, with all my stories, it's not advice. It's truly just the experience that I had in life. Then we went back to my house and we woke up in the middle of the night. My friend was laying on her back. No, I'm talking near death experience. Laying on her back, projectile vomiting up onto her face. I know, trigger warning. I'm sorry. I hate to talk about vomit. I know how it is. But we literally like shot up out of our sleep like, oh my God, she's going to choke and die. Help her up, clean her up. She had the worst alcohol poisoning I've ever seen in a girly. My other friend's like half asleep. She's like, can I have another blanket? We're like, bitch, your friend is dying over here and you're worried about it being cold. What the hell is going on? But I remember the carpet in my basement was stained blue for a long time. My parents were like, what the hell is this? Like, what did you spill down here? Like, what's going on? I was like, I don't know. That's so crazy. That's like bright blue. It won't come out of the white carpet. That's insane. What is going on? You tell me. What'd you guys spill down here? Like, now in college it was a little different. We would just drink whatever we got our hands on, which most of the time was either free drinks from the bar, which please don't just be taking random drinks. Please be safe. Yes, people get roofied. Watch your cups. Watch your friends' cups. If a man brings you a drink at a bar, don't take it. Make sure you're watching that bartender pour it for them in front of you. Anyways, I think I just drank mostly grain alcohol and vodka. So like straight vodka or Everclear. We drank a lot of Everclear in college. Scary, real alcoholic hours. I remember I threw a New Year's Eve party one time and at midnight I made a shot tower of all Everclear shots. What the hell was I on? What was I on? And I remember my parents came home because it was at their house and they're like, yeah, you could throw a party, but like we're going to come home at like 1 a.m. and go to bed. So just like be prepared that we're coming back home. Like we're not just going to leave you here alone. They showed up. I was so blackout drunk. I remember talking to them and they're like, okay, well, we're going to bed. I was like, okay, y'all, good night. And I went outside and I immediately projectile vomited in their bushes. Like that was post Everclear shot for goddamn sure. And then towards the end of my college experience, that's when Borgs came around. I think Borgs, in my opinion, as an alcoholic, I think Borgs are the safest way to drink if you do it correctly, Because I feel like when I was walking around a frat house, I had a handle in my hand. And it was like, that's straight alcohol. But at least in these Borgs, it's like half water, and then you can adjust how much alcohol you want in it, and you can add electrolytes if you want. You can add some flavoring. Let's please put more water than alcohol. I'm begging you. But I do think it's kind of the best way that I've seen the college people be drinking, because at least you're getting water in. At least it's not just all straight alcohol. So thank God the drinking culture has gotten to a point where it's like, no, we need to be taking care of ourselves. I mean, still a Borg is not the best, but we were doing also like Edward 40 hands, but with wine bottles taped to our hands. What the hell was going on? Like looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I have had such an extensive drinking history. Wow. I've literally been drinking since I was like 8th grade summer. That's when we started drinking. My organs need a break. They need a break for sure.
Oh my God. Love you. Love the pod. Everything. Blah, blah. Okay. Anyways, I wanted to ask you if you have any crazy smoking experiences, because for some reason, like, it's an inside joke between me and my friend, but whenever we're out somewhere smoking, some weird shit will happen immediately. So I'm just wondering if that happens to you too.
Oh yeah, always, 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 always. And I don't know if it's just like the nerves that are making me hyper fixated on everything around me, or if it's like the universe feels you shifting mentally and it's like, let's fuck it up. Let's do something crazy. But yes, I think there's an anomaly where it's like I'm high and the craziest shit is going down around me for no particular reason. That happened a lot on my girls' trip, especially with Karens. We kept running into Karens everywhere we went. And it's like, I'm so incredibly high at 8 a.m. in this coffee shop drive through, and you're trying to inch your car in front of us and like waving your hand aggressively as if we were not here 5 minutes before you. 5 minutes before you, and you're trying to cut in line at 8 a.m. Bitch, I'm so high, I will get out of the car. I do not care. That, and then also, like, we were at this restaurant so incredibly high and then also splitting a thing of margaritas, and I think we were just like cackling too loudly about just like lived experiences and beating dead horses, you know what I mean? If there's one thing the girls love to do, it's beat a dead horse. And we were laughing a little too loud, and the lady next to us just goes, "Where's our waiter? I need the bill." And it's like, whoa, oh my God, girl, it's not that deep. Like, we're just having a good time. Sorry, you hate to see youth enjoying their youth, okay? But yeah, there is always an anomaly of like, I'm high and I'm in public, which is already scary enough. But then I do think the universe sometimes senses it and sends crazy shit your way. Always, 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 there's just like hectic shit happening. And that's why I prefer to be edible high, safe in bed, cozy, wrapped in my sheets. But when I'm with my friends, I'm a little more brave and we just be going high anywhere. Movie theaters, restaurants, Walmart, coffee shop, girl. When I'm with the girls and we're on vacation, like I'm telling you, we were smoking morning, mid-morning, afternoon, mid-afternoon, evening, night to night to night, night, night. Like we probably smoked like 8 joints a day. And it was so beautiful. How to transform yourself, like killing off the old you. I think if you asked 22-year-old Hannah when she first started this podcast, she'd be like, you gotta get rid of that bitch. You gotta gut her and get her out of your system. I was dealing with some demons at the time, so sometimes that is how you have to go about transformation within yourself, where it's like, no, no, I gotta kill her. I gotta take her out. She can't exist anymore. But I think now that I'm older and wiser, there is something like not so healthy about being like, I need to kill myself to transform. Like, it does not need to be that deep, dark, scary. It really, really, really doesn't. I think to transform in a healthy direction and to get to a place where it's like, no, I'm actually finding real positive growth and transformation. Like, you need to love yourself into that person. You got to ask yourself, like, what love do I need now? What do I need to benefit now? Because once you start implementing those things, once you start showing yourself that love in that place that you maybe didn't get it, or bringing light to that darkness that you're too afraid to handle, or implementing new positive changes and experiences into your life, you will transform. You will transform. You don't need to die to transform. You need to grow your wings. You need to expand like a little caterpillar in a cocoon, okay? But yeah, I have heard this notion of just like, I need to kill this side of myself. I need to kill myself to, do better, to grow, to have space and room to transform. It does not have to be that crazy or that dark or that scary. And I think it also limits growth and change because you're starting from a fresh slate of like nothingness, when you should be starting with at least a base understanding of like what you do feel good about, what you don't feel good about, what you want to change, what you want to transform, what you want to implement, and where you can show yourself some more love. That's how you bring real transformation. You are so articulate and well spoken. Tips on getting a better vocabulary. Am I? Thank you. Oh my God, that's like the best compliment ever, because sometimes I'm speaking out loud and I truly am like, nothing's making sense. Words are just flowing out of me, but nothing is adding up. Nothing is making sense. So I'm glad that it's making sense to you, and I'm glad I'm maybe using words that make me look smarter than I actually am. But I do think most of my just like well-rounded understanding, or maybe like use of words, you know what it comes from? Reading. Yeah, it comes from reading. Reading now, reading in the past, reading when I was a child. Like, girl, there was no iPad in the house. There was no iPad in the sticky fingers. There was books. Like, why the hell? Such a like fever dream. I'm like, my parents are having to hide books from me at night because I would stay up and read them. I was a book fiend. Me and the librarian locked in twin. I was the first girl to have my fingers on the Hunger Games book in my middle school. That shit transformed me. I was reading, cute little kids books. I was ready to get into something crazier. I got my hands on Hunger Games. I was like, the world is opening up to me. But I've always been a reader. I really have. I love reading. I definitely fell off the past couple of years where I haven't been reading as much, but this year especially I've been committed to reading and reading different things, different genres, different types of literature. Like, I read the new Hunger Games book. Last month I read like a poetry book. This month I'm reading, a more scientific understanding book. Like, so many different ideas, so many different perspectives, but I love reading. I think it's really important for our brains to slow down every once in a while, to really escape, but in a healthy way. And yeah, you're going to gain so much knowledge from it. You're going to be smarter for it. You're going to be more well-rounded and more understanding for sure. So read. Read, 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 read. Oh, but how do I put the phone down and read? Girl, put the phone down. Put it in a different room. Put it away from you. Sit somewhere else. Go to a coffee shop. Go to a park. Get your brain somewhere else where you're able to dive into that book. And also just like, get a good book. You don't have to read that like really hard read a million chapters book just because other people are doing it. You don't have to read that book that's on Book Talk just because other people are doing it. If you're into the romance novels and the cheesy, corny shit, I love it. I love it. Me too. Me too. I don't care what you're reading. I don't care what you're reading as long as you have a book in your hands. And my goal every day is to at least read a chapter. Usually I'll read it in the evening. I'll start dinner. Dinner's on the stove cooking. And then as it's cooking, I have my glass of wine and I read a chapter of my book. Usually one chapter turns into 8, turns into 30, turns into I'm up all night reading, which is really beautiful when you can get in that flow state. Please lean into it. But I try and at least like hold myself accountable for just one chapter a day if I have the time, if I have the space. But yeah, bring back reading. Pff, what the hell? I never thought that'd be a sentence out of my mouth. Bring back reading. The kids are illiterate nowadays. The kids don't know what's going on. And that's our fault. That's not their fault. They're just children. They're just doing what we tell them to do. And like, bitch, could you imagine having an iPad and unlimited access to YouTube Shorts at 3? At 3 years old? My brain would be rotted out of my head. Are you kidding me? It's not their fault. It's not their fault their parents are putting an iPad in front of their face. But it's our fault for not encouraging reading more often. And I love the library. Shout out to my librarians out there. The library has everything. The library has so many references, so many recommendations, so many different resources. You can get you can stream movies from the library at home. Like, ebooks. I've checked out like cameras from the library, recording equipment, things like that when I was real down bad broke. Like, I can't afford a podcast mic. Bitch, go rent one from the library. I love community resources and we need to be using them. We need to be showing up for them. We need to be teaching the youth about them and we need to be reading, because why is America illiterate? Someone said, I don't want summer to end. Me either, but summer isn't ending, so you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. There's this thing called a solstice, and it has not happened yet, babe. Do not give in to the fall propaganda quite yet. It is still 95 degrees out. We can still finish summer on a high note. Summer, in my opinion, is not over until I've at least gone to the Renaissance Festival. I've gone to a state fair, and I've gone like peach picking. Peach picking or like blackberry picking, that's the end of the summer fruits. I've already gone to the state fair, so that's one out of the 3 things, but Renaissance Fair is not until September. Cannot wait to get dressed up like a princess and get so incredibly drunk. And then also I still need to go like peach picking or like end of summer fruit picking so I can kind of honor the season in that sort of way. But girl, we got time. Go out there, live your best summer experience, summer life. Take it all in now before it's gone. Yes. Oh, jump scare. Ex had to run home from a date because he complained about his blue balls and had to jerk off while I waited. I hate men. 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 And it sucks because it's like, once again, like, not to be pro man, but like, it's definitely not set up for them to succeed when porn is so addicting and so prevalent and so available, especially like with unrestricted internet access. Like, yes, we're not set up for success, but also like, can we have some self-control? Can I say one thing? Blue balls don't exist. Blue balls don't exist. Oh, you're a man, you don't have balls. I don't give a fuck. Blue balls don't exist. Blue balls are an excuse to pressure women into sexual activities. And I don't want to hear about you or your blue balls, because that sounds gross and I need you to leave my house now. Like, what is going on? What is going on? So many men jump scares. Oh, and I have to, you guys, we had a confessionals episode, but there was this girl who DM'd me after confessionals, and she was like, can you put this in confessionals? I was like, I'm so sorry I missed this, because it was actually the craziest thing I've ever read in my entire life. And so, of course, I have to read it for you guys now. Oh my God, I can't find it. I can't find it. But moral of the story is, they'd been in a long-term relationship, and she was like cleaning out his closet one day, because like, why have you cleaned out your closet in 4 years? Meanwhile, I'm mopping the house every week. Women deserve more. And she found a pocket pussy in his closet. Men are deranged and deprived. He was like, no, I've only had it for a week. I've only had it for a short amount of time. If my man had a hidden secret pocket pussy in his closet, it would be him in the pocket pussy on the corner of the goddamn street. And then she was like, and then he went to Reddit and, talked about it. And all the men on Reddit are saying it's normal and fine to have in a relationship. Oh my God. What happened to couples therapy? Reddit is not couples therapy. I will tell you that. And men will go to every extent of the earth to be like, no, I'm not a bad person, instead of just changing. Instead of just changing. Instead of just being like, maybe I shouldn't be fucking a porn star pocket pussy while my girlfriend sleeps next to me in bed. I was like, no, queen, I'd be pissed. I'd be beating him over the head with that fucking pocket pussy. Like, and that's just me. You do you, but also like valid for being very upset, very like, what the hell? Use your hand, jerk off like a real normal individual. And I'm sure men be like, oh, well, girls get all their toys. They get to have vibrators. They get to have dildos. They get to have blah, 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 blah. First of all, shut up. Women deserve pleasure, period. If there is a plastic pussy existing in my house, I'm going to be pissed. Unless it's something for me, I don't need that around me. Especially regarding the fact that like most of those pocket pussies are like formatted after a specific porn star. No. I don't need a man that brain rotted. I do not need a man that brain rotted. Speaking of, someone asked, thoughts on your partner watching porn? Here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you can't do this. I think in a relationship, you can't be like, you can't do this. I don't think that's fair to your partner, but I do think you should have non-negotiables in a relationship. Like, there should be things where it's like, no, they can do this, but if they do it, then I don't want to be with them. That's how it works in a relationship. You can't set rules and boundaries where it's like, no, you're not allowed to do this. It's like, no, they're a human. They can do whatever they want, but it's your choice whether you want to be with a partner who does that shit or not. Do you know what I mean? And this is going to be crazy of me to say, but like, now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't care if my partner watches porn. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want the watching to be so much where you're like not having sex with me, or not attracted to me, or can only get off to porn, or can only get off to weird crazy shit, or like we're having sex and it's for hours because you fried your nervous system. I don't want that bullshit going on. I don't want you sneaking off to bathrooms. I don't want you sneaking off, having to jerk off somewhere randomly, saying you've blue balls and leaving the date to go jerk off. Like, it can't be a problem. You can consume it casually. Sure, I don't care. I don't want to know about it, but it cannot be a problem. It cannot be a problem. I don't fuck with that. I don't do that. Like, if you as a real life woman are having to fight with a fake woman online, like fake pussy online, that is a battle that is not worth your time or energy. Like, at all. Let him go jerk off alone in his parents' house, in his parents' basement, not in your house. That's for sure. Drunk texted a man and ruined a good breakup. That's okay. You were drunk. You can just forget it. Just pretend it didn't happen. And you know what? You were in your lover girl era. You were drunk. You were feeling the love. You were wanting to share it with people. And how dare you not share the love to people? Me trying to like emphasize it's like bad drunk habits. I feel you on this. I feel like I've always been a drunk, like, making bad decisions kind of girl. Sorry. I'm just a girl. I like to have a good time. I like to get silly and wild. But beautiful part of the story is you are not the first woman in the world to get drunk and text their ex. So it's okay. Low key, I would just pretend it didn't happen. Delete the message, block it out. That happened? Are we sure that happened? I don't know if that happened, you know? And also, I'll never blame you for being a lover girl. I'll never blame you for being like, "Ugh, but I miss them. It's okay to miss them. It's okay. It's okay to share that with them. Maybe not all the time. Maybe accidentally, sure. Who can hate a lover girl? But we've all been there, so don't stress yourself out too much.
Hi, Hannah. Okay, so on Wednesday, it was my 21st birthday. I ended up celebrating with all my friends, and I invited my coworker, who I have a crush on, which I know. We should not shit where we eat. I am a full believer of that, but I do believe that there are some exceptions, and especially, like, the job that I work at now, it wouldn't be, like, a big problem. Like, they basically wouldn't care if we got together. Like, my corporate wouldn't care. And also, like I said, I just feel like in some cases they're an exception. Anyways, I invited him. He came over. It was a great time. Like, we were definitely kikiing it up, and I'm just like, I felt the vibes. But like I said, I invited my friends, and I have this one friend who's one of my very close friends, actually. But in the beginning of, like, me meeting her, I had feelings for her, and there were definitely points where, like, it seemed like we were talking, but then she would kind of, like, when we would, like, talk about, like, maybe going on a date, even though we never called it that, like, that's what it was giving, she'd always ghost me. And then there would be, like, at least, like, 2 or 3 times where that would happen, and then she would, like, pop out, like, saying, like, she was, like, talking to somebody else. And because it was never serious, I never, like, confronted her about it, but she basically confirmed, because I ended up getting really drunk, and then she sent a text that I wasn't supposed to see. So then after everybody left from the party, she, like, drove back and came back, and we ended up talking about it, and she basically told me, like, from the get-go that she had feelings for me, which I'm kind of like, oh, love to hear that, but also, like, you couldn't have said this 8 months ago. Like, we could have already been a thing, because now, like, I fear I have moved on from it, and I do really like my coworker, but it's like I really care about my friend. And also, like, oh, I forgot to mention this part, but when she did come back, obviously, like I said, I was drunk, and we were in the moment, and we did end up hooking up. So now I feel like it's kind of changed the dynamic of the friendship, which is really, really unfortunate, because, like, my biggest fear with all of that was I didn't want to lose her as a friend. But now I'm kind of, like, stuck, and I feel like I'm, like, a standstill. Like, I don't know what to do. So what do you think, Queen? And also, just want to say I love you. You've been a long time listener, and you have just helped me grow into a woman that I love. And I could rant about how much I love you, but don't want to take up all the time of the podcast. So that's all. Please let me know what you think. Love you. Have a beautiful day. Love all the podcast baddies too. And bye.
Okay, best case scenario here, 3-way. Is that crazy of me? Maybe. But here's the thing. She confessed her feelings. She's like, I should have, woulda, coulda. Y'all hooked up. I don't know how you forgot that. Happy to have that information. Y'all hooked up. I don't think it ruins the dynamic, because I do think a lot of friends be hooking up. You know, especially, like, I don't know. It just happens sometimes. Especially when, like, friendship, it does include love, and it can be confused for a romantic experience. If that hookup happened and you are not, like, head over heels, I don't think it's, like, I don't think it's a connection that I want to be, you know, putting my time towards right now. Especially if you have, like, more of a crush on your coworker, then, like, yeah, I would say just, like, kind of pretend it didn't happen. And if she brings it up, not, like, in a mean way, but just, like, we had our fun. We did our little cute little kiki. I don't think you have to be like, I don't want to be around you romantically, but I do think you could be like, I think we're better off as friends. You know, I am pursuing other connections right now. I do want to keep you in my life as a friend, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, like I said, best case scenario, you guys just have a 3-way. I don't know if she's into that, but, like, could be fun. That's toxic of me, though. And yeah, it is hard to choose, but, like, period, you have options. We love an option. We love, you know, just like being into people and exploring your options and taking your time and all those fun things. So don't stress it out. If you want to explore both, absolutely. But I wouldn't lead her on. Like, you guys have already hooked up. You've already been around her long enough that if it's like, you aren't feeling everything fully, then don't waste her time being like, sure, I want to explore this. You know, it's like, okay, liar, just say you're not into it and you just want to keep friends because you have a different connection that's stronger. Period. How to deal with mean girls in your late 20s when you just want to be their friends. Ooh. First of all, you can't win the mean girl over. You can't. Here's my perspective on mean girls, okay? I think when you're younger, you're in high school, you're in middle school, mean girls are more prevalent because, insecurities are on the rise, hormones are on the rise, life experience is at a full-time zero. So it's very easy to be a mean girl. I will never I don't like a mean girl, and yes, I hope you change, but I understand the perspective of a mean girl maybe in high school or middle school because it's they're going through it, that's why they're mean. But when you are in your 20s or 30s or 40s and you are a mean girl, there is no goddamn excuse at all. There's no excuse, truly. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what stressors you have. I don't care, I care about you and your perspective, but you cannot take your anguish and anxiety and insecurity and place it on other people. That is not allowed. In the adult world, that does not fucking fly with me because we're two mature adults, or maybe one at this point, but at this point in time of our lives, we've had so much life experience and so much understanding in ourselves that we owe each other the decency of kindness. Period. What happened to kindness? Bring back kindness. Hello. So if you encounter a mean girl in your 20s, there's no use even bothering. There really isn't. Keep minimal contact. Do not engage. If fighting only makes it worse because then they feel like they have the upper hand or they feel like they need to, go harder on you. It is just not worth the mental battle and the mental games. And the reason they do that is because they're so miserable that they want to make everybody else around them miserable. Truly, that's it. Every adult that I've met in my life, in my adult experience, which is minimal, who is so incredibly mean or rude or not understanding or aggressive or any sort of negative emotion constantly, it's not because of me. It's not because of me, because they do that to everybody, and they do it to everybody because they do it to themselves constantly. And the only way I can feel is not angry or upset. It's just kind of oh, that's really sad for you. Oh God, never put me in a position where people go, wow, that's really sad for you. Bitch, something's got to change. If I ever get there, something has to change immediately. But that's how I feel. That's how I feel. And it's not worth engaging. I had this old manager who was definitely like this, 30-year-old mean ass bitch. Bitch, you have a 6-year-old. How are you going to be a mean bitch and have a 6-year-old? Aren't you supposed to be I don't know, some sort of example for your child? Anyways, she started off this relationship really weird where it was we're gonna be best friends, I love you so much, we're gonna be best friends. And she did that so I could get close to her, so then when she said rude things she could follow it up with love bombing. Very weird energy. But she was just mean and rude. I have never cried that much in my entire life in a walk-in cooler. That should not be happening. But it got to the point where I was why am I engaging with her? Why am I engaging with her? Even if I engage positively, negatively, I've tried every single direction. I've tried neutrality. I've tried understanding. I've tried being her therapist. Because one thing about me, I'm going to try. I'm going to try and have a good relationship. I'll do my best. But sometimes you have to learn those mean girls are not worth fucking with because no matter what you do, they're going to hate it, period. We as women have it hard enough. I think we owe it to each other to at least try and stick together and have understanding. But yeah, I hate a fucking mean girl. And it's not worth your time or energy if you encounter them. Truly pretend they don't exist. And I know that kind of sounds like mean girl energy, but it's when you have a slot machine in front of you and every coin you put in there is going to give you like negative money, why would you even put coins into it? Do you know what I mean? Does that euphemism work? Anyways, I do love women. I love women because women are amazing, and most of them are amazing, wonderful, incredible. And okay, first of all, I love having girly friends because every time I come over for vacation or just even hanging out with my girls, I leave with so many more tips and tricks. And that's why I love this podcast, because I'm like, no, let me share my tips and tricks with you guys. I nared my entire body yesterday. My friend on vacation was like, oh my God, you guys, I get the worst ingrown hairs, but like feel how smooth my arm is. I don't shave my arms, but I felt her arm and I was like, girl, what the hell? How did you get that? Did you shave? She's like, no. I use Veet sensitive skin. I lather my whole body in it. I leave it on for like 6 minutes. And then, like it says, I scrape it off. And then I exfoliate with an African net sponge. You guys, I said say no more. The Amazon order is already on the way. Don't even worry about it. So yesterday the trial happened. And I was nervous because I was afraid, A, it's going to smell horrible, awful chemically. My entire house is going to be like, ugh, what acid spilled in here? You know what I mean? What chemical dumping ground is going on in this girl's apartment? Did not want that. So I was nervous about that. But luckily, it didn't have a horrible, awful smell. It didn't burn. No ingrown hairs so far. Feeling good. Feeling as smooth as a little baby seal who just slipped out of its mother. We'll see about the ingrown hairs. I don't know. I'm worried. I read so many reviews because I just get anxious. So I start reading reviews on things. And some people are like, no, it caused way more ingrown hairs. So we'll see. But for now, I'm telling you, it's like I'm a fucking plastic slip and slide right now. Yeah, thank you girls for putting me on. That plus the African net sponge, where it's like not only ripping out the dead hairs but also exfoliating every layer of skin off of your body. I followed by argan oil body butter. You guys, amazing, incredible. I love women. Their ingenuity is truly something to be admired, because who would have thought about using Veet on your whole entire body? Anyways, thank you girls for that tip, because that was amazing. How to travel cheap. I want to prioritize traveling in my 20s. If you guys want to see more photos, I just uploaded like a bunch of hiking photos. I'm uploading a bunch of reels and like the last of like my photo dumps from vacation. So check them out at Hannah Marlene on Instagram. But honestly, I think I'm a bougie traveler. I am. There are ways I can cut back money. There are cheaper places to stay. Absolutely. I just am at the point in time in my life where it's like, I know what I want. And if I book it far enough ahead, I can usually make it happen. But you can travel, like honestly, anywhere relatively for very, very, very cheap. And I learned this because one of my cousins is a national parks ranger in Yellowstone, and her boyfriend, they'll just take off for a week. Like they'll get the little vacation, it'll be off season. They'll just take off for a week and live out of their car, camp, cook over a stove, eat cheap meals. Like if you are really willing to get down low and dirty, you can travel for very cheap. If you're willing to stay in a hostel, if you're willing to eat ramen 5 nights a week, like you could probably do it for under $100, honestly, really. And if you plan ahead far enough in advance, you can always travel for cheap. Like even going to Tokyo, I'm thinking about, where it's like you have to spend money, period. You have to book a hotel, you have to book a flight. Those are non-negotiables. It's going to cost me money. But our flights were relatively very, very inexpensive. And that's because, I planned far ahead in advance. I was watching those airline tickets like it was nobody's business, waiting for it to drop. I remember for a while it was like $1,200 for one person round trip. I'm not doing that. I don't need to go to Tokyo that bad. But then one day, randomly, it dropped from $1,200 to $700. Oh, I'm not fucking around. I booked those tickets immediately. That's very cheap. For a round trip ticket to Japan and back, that is very, very cheap. But it's like I took my time. I planned ahead. I was watching it. If you make the right adjustments accordingly, you can travel for very cheap. Travel does not have to be luxurious expensive. It can be if that's what you're going for. But if you're going for the experience, for the thrill ride, like, girl, you need a backpack, a license, a hope and a dream. That is truly all you need to travel. And maybe like a gun. I mean, like maybe at least like some bear spray or a taser or something just to keep yourself safe. Safety is number one, always. No matter where you go, even if you're in a hostel, even if you're like, you know, in a relatively well-lit area, please priority safety number one. Take care of yourself always. Don't put yourself in sketchy situations for the excuse of just saving $5. I would rather you pay the $5 and be safe than trying to save $5 that bad. Do you know what I mean? But yes, and I think a lot of my traveling coming up, I mean, at least post Japan, will be very inexpensive traveling. Like I'm hoping to convert my Mazda into more of like a car camping situation where if I want to take off to Colorado and just like be in the mountains for 3 days and sleep out of the back of my car, I can do that. You know what I mean? And sure, the initial investment into car camping will be a little pricey. I don't know. I feel like I can get a mattress topper for like $10 and a fitted sheet and call it a day, you know? But I am planning on doing a lot of more relatively inexpensive traveling. So when I do traveling vlogs in the future, I'll do a cost breakdown always. Like for my Japan trip, I'm already writing down my cost breakdown. But I think total flights round trip were $700 because that was planned in advance. And then hotel individually, I think it was like $500 for a week. I know. And it wasn't like the most biggest, best, bougiest hotel ever, but it was in like good location, good price range, adequate reviews. Cool, I'm sold. I'll be there. I think you can travel cheap, and I think you can travel on a very low savings, but I do not think you should travel on credit. I do not think you should be traveling on a credit card. I don't think you should be doing anything on a credit card that is outside your means of what you can pay for ever. That's how they get you. That's how the system traps you. And I don't need anybody trapped by the system, please. This is so funny. How is your fish doing? What a sweet question. I do have a fish. His name is Louie. He's blue, so I was like maybe Bluey, but then like that's the dog, so I don't want to do the dog. So his name's Louie, and he's doing so good. I love plants, so I have like a full planted freshwater fish tank. We did have a casualty last week where I did have a snail die, but snails are so unpredictable. I've always had snails in my fish tanks. I'm such a weirdo bitch. Like I love my weird little hobbies, and one of them does happen to be like having a fish tank. But he's doing so good. I have so many little plants in there. I found this cute little niche fish store that's been helping me out so much. But it's been really beautiful because I know I shouldn't shop at Petco for fishes, but every time I would go in there to get cat food, I would feel so bad for the fishes on the wall. So I was like, okay, I want a fish tank and I want to save one of the fishies. So I saved him, but when I got him, he was all white. He was an all white fish. That's not why I picked him. He just looked like he needed a lot of TLC. He was very skinny. Why can I see your bones? I'm concerned. But when I brought him home, he's turned into this bright fluorescent blue and red fish. And I'm like, oh my God. It makes my heart so happy. Well, also like kind of sad because it's like I read online that their colors get so dull when they're in these places because they're so depressed, but their colors really flourish and brighten when they're happy and healthy. So I'm like, oh, Louie, thank God. I'm so happy you're enjoying your little tank because I do be putting some work into that tank, I'll tell you what. But I love having a fish. I love having a fish. I love being off an edible and staring at my fish tank. There's truly nothing better. Truly. And also Danger loves it too. There was some time where I've always had fish around Danger, and he's always been good to the point where he's like, I'm not going to like get the fish, but I'll try. And there's times where he was waking me up in the middle of the night with a wet paw, like tapping on my face. And I'm like, oh, hell no, this isn't going to work. This is not going to work. So I put a stuffed animal up by the fish tank, and he stopped getting up there because I think he's like intimidated or whatever. But no, Danger's good around the fish, and the fish is doing good. Thank you for asking. My little family. What leads you to continue when all you want to do is give up? Oh my God. You know what? It always gets better. And you have to hit the low point to sometimes see the future. Or you have to hit a low point in order to get higher. Does that make sense? But every time I've gone low, I've immediately gone so much higher. Always. And the only reason I'm able to like sit comfortably with that now is because I've hit so many low points and gotten out of them and gotten to a better place. to the point where I'm like, okay, no, this is just a universal truth. But when I was younger and I wasn't aware of the universal truth, and I was more so just like, oh my God, no, I'm just at such a low place. This is like fact. So I must believe that it's going to happen for the rest of my life because I don't have any lived experience. That was really hard for me to believe that things could get better. It was very hard for me to believe that. But once you go through it enough times and you're like, girl, I can't do that many times. Don't worry. You'll get through it. And like I said, it does get better. You do come out on top every time. But once you go through it enough times, it is just kind of a universal truth of like, no. It does get better. Life always gets better. It does. If you put the effort and the work and the just simply trying into your life and standing beside yourself and, attempting to take it not only just one day at a time, but just like one step further every day, you will live a successful, positive, thriving life. I promise you. But also, we're in our young 20s, and that's when the trials and tribulations really come through. So I'm holding on for the stability of my 30s, truly. But I know that me going through these ups and downs, these low points, and subsequently the high points, are what builds the stable base of what will be my 30s. So please hold on. Please keep going. It does get better. I promise you. Like, it is a universal fact. So don't even worry about how. Just understand it will. College girl attire staples. Really, really comfy clothes you can wear to class. I was not the girl who was dressing up for class. I was the girl, unless I had a crush, but I was mostly the girl who was in like matching 2-piece set, especially at 8 a.m. class after being just so incredibly hungover, like practically waking up at a frat house and then going to class. Yeah, no. I'm in a 2-piece set, like a workout set and a hat. Bam. Good enough as long as you're there. Who cares about your outfit? But then you need going out outfits. And honestly, all of my going out outfits were just really tiny tops that made my tits look fantastic. And then either shorts or jeans. I don't think you should go to like frat parties or parties in general in a skirt because you're going to be like uncomfortable unless you vibe in skirts. I don't vibe in skirts. I need my pussy covered from front to back, like for safety reasons. So I love a good pair of like jeans, like really cute jeans that make your ass look great, or shorts. And they could be any kind of shorts, like cute little micro shorts, high-waisted, denim, cut off, like Adam Sandler shorts, who cares? And then shoes that you can get fucked up. Really comfortable tennis shoes you can get fucked up. No one's going to the club in heels in college unless you live in like New York City. Then congratulations. That's more of like once you graduate college, then you'll be going to the club in heels. But no, frat parties, you need a comfortable pair of shoes. In my college days, it was white Air Force Ones. Now I feel like you could throw on a pair of like Adidas or Doc Martens, like platform docs, and call it a day. But you need comfortable shoes, some sort of bottom that's secure, and then like really tight, teeny, tiny go out top. My go out top place for shopping is Princess Polly. Not sponsored. It's truly where I've been shopping the most at recently. Do you have any Halloween costumes in mind yet? Not me being like, no, don't worry, summer's not over. Yes, I've ordered 3 Halloween costumes. And no, I will not spoil them, but I know it's a Halloween weekend, so I do need to I'm like prepping mentally where I'm like, I need at least 2 for the weekend, one for Friday, which Halloween's on, and then one for Saturday if I still have the energy to go out Friday or Saturday, or maybe like the Thursday before Halloween. Either way, I need 2 Halloween costumes because I am quick to change my mind. I'm quick to, be like, no, I don't want to wear this, and then do something else. So I always have 2 different vibes. And then I need one for this podcast. Last year, or like previous Halloween costumes, what have I been? Oh, last year I was Pamela Anderson, and then also I was a nun for our confessionals episode. The year before that, I was Alice in Wonderland because I went to a rave, and that just makes sense. Like, girl, down the rabbit hole, let's fucking go. And then before that, I have been Sailor Moon. And then honestly, I can't think of anything else before that because like in college, it was like I have cat ears on and I'm calling it a day. Like I'm not going all out. That is for fucking sure. But yes, I am prepping the Halloween costumes. Listen, I'm a planner. I plan ahead. I make sure all bases are covered. And I don't want it to be a week before Halloween and I'm panicked trying to buy something online, but it's not even in my size, but it's the only costume I want. I don't play those games. I don't. I do plan ahead. I do order ahead. And there's always a deal if you plan ahead. Like I said, you want to save money, plan months in advance. There's always a deal. And I love Halloween. I do, but like I said, I gotta wait. I have to indulge in the last bits of summer, or else we're bringing on way too much winter for us all. Don't get too excited. Fall's gonna make its way here shortly, but I don't need to be hanging up bats around my house just yet. Anyways, you guys, I hope you've enjoyed this a little bit longer of an episode, but I just wanted to get on here and hang out and just kiki with the girls. I missed answering questions and seeing what's on your minds. I'm proud of you all for surviving the retrograde. Please remember, life sends us lessons in the funniest way, and if we do not desire to learn them, life will force us to learn them. So you might as well learn them on your own time instead of having it be a major inconvenience, aka Mercury retrograde. If you're going through a breakup, hold on, girl. There is love out there that is meant for you. Do not watch The Materialist if you need a dose of hope and inspiration for your love life. It is not the vibe for that at all. It's the end of summer. I fear we're all just doing the best we can. We're trying to grow and glow in our most beautiful individual ways in order to kind of preserve that life force energy for winter. But we're not going to bring up the big bad winter yet. We're going to live out this summer the best we can. We're going to have a fantastic fall, and I cannot wait to see where it brings us. Please, more call-ins. You can DM me your voice message on my Instagram at instagram.com/Hannah Marlene. I also am posting so much there. Lots of reel, lots of cooking things. You guys know where to find me at Hannah Marlene. If you want your question answered, if you're like in my DMs like, she never sees them, join the Patreon. Join the Patreon. I answer every single one of your questions over there. I'm not even kidding. Every single one. I think last week we had like 55 questions that I went through, and I will give you the time, energy that you're desiring. I'm sorry if I miss you guys. I do try the best that I can, but I when I tell you I get like thousands of questions every single week, like I'm trying to pick things that are usually, I feel like more than one person is asking, so it's more of like a collective adjustment. But if you want your question answered, come join the Patreon, patreon.com/smokesesshawty. We have so much fun over there. Lots of fun little extra things that I submit with you guys. You guys have loved the book that I'm reading, Braiding Sweetgrass, and I do a book club every week on the Patreon, or every month on the Patreon, where I introduce you guys to the book that I'm reading for that month, just to hold myself accountable and, you know, maybe provide some inspiration for you guys as well. But so many fun things over there, so many extras, and I do answer all the questions. And yeah, if you want to see more from me, follow me there. But with that being said, stay sane, stay sexy, and I'll see you all so soon. Mwah!